Pleasant either.
Yeah, I think we remember we asked.
Stay in college. Stay in college. You don't need this
Fun to
shit.
verify.
David and I focus on the multi a little bit. Yeah, that's really, Langdon was our first project. We did at Simpson Park at the train station. We actually today had the Long Island president, everybody is Roy. So introduced him to the project. We, wanted him to maybe support us a little better. Had the train trestles. But he had a good time. He liked it a lot. And
Thanks so much.
This is part of my agenda too. Throughout the state, push for more housing.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, if it's okay, it's not too much trouble.
We did like a whole
Didn't hurt,
presentation.
I guess.
Got some model trains for him. We did a model train on a platform. Not as fancy what you guys did. We're your country cousins out here. See, this is our project. Yeah, it's a video. Yeah, we're with That's really cool. I was joking. We're your country cousins out here, so we're not as fancy, but well, learning very, very quickly.
How was it been since your switch to Chuck?
Oh, great. Yeah, I mean, it's been about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Still telling.
Been that long?
Yeah.
No, that's mine. I'm gonna ask, I will.
You asked me to find out who was coming. I asked them all. Everyone's like, yeah, I might come, I might come. So I think I couldn't tell you. Supposed to go for dinner first. Everyone should. I thought Bob was coming too.
Put it out on Facebook. Yeah.
My town, there are two.
You're in the city.
Ethan,
36, no, 36.
you're gonna chat about it. Sorry.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna talk about it? Okay.
I could now wait till it's off.
I don't know, leave it up. Just bring it closer. It's very good. It's not great for me. No, when it's easy, right? We'll leave it there for now. Just like that.
Same thing, same access.
Yeah.
It's at my door.
It's just a little too crazy downtown sometimes. I go up there sometimes. Yeah. Told you. 32. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's it? Oh.
I thought I was doing that. I don't do that anymore. I turned 30.
Out here in the country. And,
That's so crazy. My buddy texted me right now. Oh, really? Shooting shit. He just invited me to his fantasy football. Killing me.
I don't pitch for money all day long. All day long. It's the colorist and the haircut and the hair and the makeup person.
Yeah, I remember saying that. That's why I didn't have like the next photo.
He said, what are you, 13
30K
years old?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? For me, give me the photo.
He's getting better. Okay.
You
And,
know, you keep thinking,
tolerate it.
all right, I'll let this go. I'll let this
Pick
go.
up there. One shot deal, but let me finish out. Pick up, go.
Well, these days,
You're 3 over.
Right.
Yeah, like you're 3
well,
over.
first of all, you can say you got it the first time, you're not getting the second time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's trying to
Good
recap
luck.
us right now. He's like, dude, I'm gonna win. He's like, I'm gonna win this deal. He wants to take the Langdon out. So he's like, I'm gonna win that deal.
I know the guy. You know, they're aggressive. I love the guy. He's so cool. He works for Regan.
Who?
Like, okay.
Oh, that guy?
She said, do you know the guy? I like the guy.
Yeah. He got him hooked up.
Scott, you ready? Yep. Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Planning Advisory Board meeting of August 14th, 2025. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Board Member and Secretary Scott Byrne.
Please face the flag, put your hand over the heart. I pledge allegiance to
Okay, good evening. Secretary Byrne, please call the roll.
Certainly. Chairman Stanko,
Present.
Member DiLeonardo,
Present.
Member Chabina,
Present.
Member Warner,
Present.
Member Castellane is absent, Member Byrne is present. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Okay. Format for this meeting is presentation from the applicant, then questions and comments that the board may have, and then any interested parties may speak on the application. And we ask that anyone who addresses the board to please come forward, speak from the podium, and state your name and address for the record. We have one agenda item this evening, 401 to 447 South Oyster Bay Road in Plainview, New York, 11803. The applicant is seeking a site plan approval from the Planning Advisory Board in accordance with the town's site design standards. This site plan application involves the construction of a 3,974 square foot pad site building in an existing multi-tenant shopping center with associated site improvements. The proposed use for the subject property is a permitted use pursuant to Chapter 246, Table 5.2 of the Code of the Town of Oyster Bay. Secretary Byrne, do we have any correspondence on this application?
We do, Chairman. We have a memo from the Zoning Division dated March 1st, 2024, stating that the subject property is located at 401 through 447 South Oyster Bay Road, Plainview, New York, 11803, and has a Nassau County Land and Tax Map designation of Section 12, Block 342, Lot 18, and is located within the NB Neighborhood Business Zoning District on the town zoning maps. We have a memo from the Department of Environmental Resources dated February 6, 2025, classifying this project as Type 2 for the purposes of seeker. We have a memo from the Code Enforcement Bureau dated March 1st, 2024, stating there's an open code case for non-maintenance and litter and debris for the subject property. Chairman, since this memo is over a year old, the Planning Division contacted Code Enforcement Bureau this week, and there are currently no open code violations. We have resolution number 10,622-25, adopted on August 14th, 2025, from the Nassau County Planning Commission, recommending disapproval for this project. We have a memo from the town's Department of Public Works Highway Division dated March 4th, 2024, and Engineering Division dated March 6, 2024, stating that they have reviewed the site plans and have no objections. We have a memo from the Nassau County Department of Public Works dated June 13th, 2025, stating that pursuant to General Municipal Law 239F, the plans have been conditionally approved as noted. We have a memo from the Planning Division dated August 12th, 2025, stating the required parking for the subject property is 601 parking spaces and 546 parking spaces have been provided. We have a memo from the Planning Division dated August 12, 2025, stating that the division has conducted a review in accordance with Chapter 246, Section 6, Site Plan Review of the Code of the Town of Oyster Bay, and is referring the site plan to the Planning Advisory Board for appropriate action. And we have the affidavit of sign posting and the affidavit of mailing from the applicant.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. For the record, Philip Butler with the law firm of Forcelli, Deegan, Tirana. Thank you for hearing this application. Before I begin, this board previously requested that any materials that we submit at the hearing be submitted in advance. We did that, so they're up on the screen today, but I see that the screen's a little small, so I do have hard copy handouts for the board.
okay.
So with me tonight are Ken Breslin and Justin Breslin and Lauren Sanders and Chris Feza representing ownership and the applicants on this matter. We also have Justin Tompkins from H2M Architects, Ethan Shukoski with Atlantic Traffic, and Frankie Campione, the architect on this project. Referring to Exhibit 1 in your materials, the subject premises, as mentioned, is Woodbury Plaza Shopping Center at 401-447 South Oyster Bay Road in Plainview, on the southeast corner of the intersection of Woodbury Road. The center consists of 9.3 acres in the neighborhood business district, and it has operated as a shopping center since 1955. and I believe Breslin Realty has owned it since 1979. Referring to Exhibit 2, which is the town zoning map, the intersection of South Oyster Bay Road and Woodbury Road, for anyone who is not familiar, is a major commercial hub in the area. The four corners forming the intersection consist of 3 different shopping centers: Woodbury Plaza, Woodbury Shopping Center, and Plainview Center. There are also various other businesses in the area, including BP gas station, an office building, various food and retail, and service uses. The wider area consists of residential neighborhoods, all of which are in the R17 district. And there you go. The center is currently improved with an existing commercial building containing approximately 111,000 square feet of commercial space, split into 18 tenant spaces. There's also a parking lot containing striped parking for 535 stalls. Current tenants of the center include Trader Joe's, TJ Maxx, CVS, Banana Republic, The Gap, and several food and retail uses. There's also a Chase Bank with a drive-through, Huntington Learning Center, and a walk-in dermatology clinic. We have an existing conditions map, which shows that in the southerly portion of the parking lot nearest to Trader Joe's, there's a barricaded foundation measuring approximately 80 feet by 80 feet. That is a pad site previously approved by this board on December 20th, 2012, and then approved by the town board for a major restaurant project on January 10th of 2017. Following an unfavorable decision from the zoning board, however, that project did not go forward, and as a result, the foundation has sat there basically, which has only deducted from the available parking in the area and really hasn't served much of a usable purpose. However, as I will discuss momentarily, the project will finally restore that portion of the parking lot, which will add drive aisles and a total of 21 parking stalls on the southern portion of the lot, which will help relieve parking congestion and traffic circulation in the center. So the proposal for the board tonight is the expansion and beautification of the center, which started several years ago when they began renovating the exterior of the main building. This phase of the renovation calls for a new pad building in the northwest quadrant of the site that will contain 3,974 square feet of commercial space split between 2 proposed food tenants with no drive-through. The project also focuses on improving and optimizing the parking lot, which occupies the entire frontage along South Oyster Bay Road and also behind the building. If you look at Exhibits 4 and 5, I'll put 4 up on the screen. The applicant is proposing the new pad building in the northern portion of the parking lot across from the CVS. This is an underutilized portion of the parking lot, especially when compared to the location of the existing pad, which is across from the Trader Joe's. The former pad site in front of Trader Joe's, as I mentioned, will be converted back to a parking lot which will add 21 parking stalls. Throughout the center, the applicant is also proposing to restripe the parking lot with larger California-style parking spaces and will add a net increase of parking to 546 stalls, whereas there are currently 535. Additionally, the applicant will install a new interior drive aisle that will provide safer and more efficient access into and out of the interior of the shopping center. And finally, the applicant is proposing new landscaping in the middle of the center near the main entrance and also landscape planters throughout the site. On January 29th, the Department of Planning and Development notified the applicant that all planning comments on the project were resolved to the department's satisfaction. On February 6th of this year, the Department of Environmental Resources issued a memorandum recommending a Type 2 designation, which is predetermined to not result in any adverse environmental impacts. And finally, on May 9th of this year, the Nassau County Department of Public Works approved the work in and adjacent to South Oyster Bay Road and Woodbury Road. As Mr. Byrne mentioned just this morning, the Nassau County Planning Commission did adopt a decision which we acknowledge and we intend to respond to through the testimony of our traffic engineer, Ethan Shikoski. However, I do want to note for the record that this project was vetted by the Nassau County DPW, which has jurisdiction over both South Oyster Bay Road and Woodbury Road, and was approved. We also, unfortunately, were not made aware of the Commission's comments until late this afternoon, and therefore we did not really have an opportunity to address the Commission's concerns and potentially resolve them. And finally, before calling up our engineers to provide testimony, I'm going to submit a collection of photographs which were taken of the center yesterday afternoon, which focus on the parking areas that I've been discussing. As you'll see, the location of the proposed pad site has a considerable number of available spaces. The photos also depict the parking area surrounding the old pad site, which again will be restored to part of the parking lot. And finally, the photos depict the rear of the site, which provides additional actively used parking in addition to the designated loading zones for the center. So I'll hand up those photographs now.
Did you actually go for a presentation at the Nassau County Planning Commission?
No, but we also weren't invited to. We also weren't contacted by the Planning Commission, which typically is what occurs when we get or potentially going to receive an unfavorable
So it's not a normal
decision.
procedure to go before the board and make a presentation?
Well, it was on referral, so it wasn't an actual application, so we wouldn't make a formal presentation. But had we known that they had concerns about the project, we certainly would have attended the meeting to address them in advance of tonight's hearing. Unfortunately, that didn't occur.
And you just got the information today?
Correct. And nonetheless, I do believe we can respond to the concerns because we did submit a traffic report, and we do have a traffic expert here to testify on that issue. So I do think if given the opportunity, we would have been able to possibly resolve the concerns of the commission, but be that as it may, we may yet have to do that.
All right.
So I'll submit these photographs for the record, and then I'll call up Justin Tompkins to discuss the civil engineering aspects of the project.
Good evening to the members of the board. My name is Justin Tompkins. I have the privilege of representing H2M Architects and Engineers tonight. I live at 25 Edgar Court in Huntington,
Can
New
you
York.
speak a little louder, please?
Yeah, sorry.
To the mic.
Tonight, I'd like to present the site plan and go through the civil engineering for the proposed 3,974 square foot pad building within the Woodbury Plaza Shopping Center. Our design was, carefully conceived to not only meet the functional needs of the future occupants of this plaza, but to enhance the overall character and efficiency of the plaza itself. Our design was looking to improve the accessibility of the site, improve the landscaping, the aesthetics of the site as well.
Do you have a
So-
page that goes along better with your presentation that we should look at, or?
I can pull this up.
Okay. But you don't have one on the screen?
Mr. Chairman, item 4 in the materials I gave you is the site plan for the.
That's, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Item number 4.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Key site improvements include a reconfigured parking area. Our plan was to redesign this to improve vehicle flow and efficiency throughout the site with the added benefit of reparking that former pad area in order to provide a net gain of spaces on the site. In addition, we have incorporated a dedicated pedestrian access point from South Oyster Bay Road, creating a safe, direct, and welcoming connection for visitors arriving on foot. In terms of utilities and stormwater management, additional dry wells have been proposed to improve on-site stormwater retention and protect the surrounding areas. Utilities to the new pad building will connect to nearby existing utility infrastructure within the surrounding rights-of-way. Site lighting impacted by the new building will be relocated and reconnected to the existing site lighting loops. And the South Oyster Bay Road entrance, which I'll flip real quick. So the South Oyster Bay Road entrance will also feature upgraded landscaping provided by our in-house landscape architects, providing a more attractive streetscape and a stronger sense of arrival for shoppers and visitors. The plan has been, as discussed, the plan has been developed in consideration of the applicable zoning standards, and we have done we have increased the amount of parking spaces on the site from existing. We believe that this proposal reflects a balanced approach. It increases the functionality of the site while adding to the visual quality. And that's it for me. Thank you for your attention. At this time, I'll turn over the presentation to Ethan Shukowski, our traffic engineer.
Good evening. Ethan Chikosky. I'm a professional engineer in the state of New York. professional traffic operations engineer. With TPD Engineering, we were formerly known as Atlantic Traffic, same company, different name. We prepared a traffic report for the application dated February 13th, 2025. We took a look at the existing and proposed traffic and parking conditions. As was mentioned, this is approximately 100,000 square foot shopping center anchored by the TJ Maxx and a Trader Joe's supermarket. Current conditions show a total of 535 parking stalls on site, 2 full movement driveways along northbound South Oyster Bay Road, 1 driveway with left turn egress restriction along eastbound Woodbury Road, and 1 full movement driveway along eastbound Woodbury Road. That full movement driveway is in the rear of the site behind the TJ Maxx, primarily serve as, trucks and employees. As was mentioned, there's an existing landscaping area that was previously intended to serve as a pad site for the shopping center, which obstructs much of the parking on the south side of the shopping center in front of that Trader Joe's and the Huntington Learning Center and the stores on that south side of the building, which can be quite busy, especially during the peak time, Saturday midday. So in proposed condition, as was mentioned, the approximately 4,000 square foot building would be built on the north side of the property in an area that's not as utilized currently. Both tenants are expected to be a casual dining restaurant with takeout options, but as was mentioned, no drive-through component whatsoever on this site. The total supply after installing the additional parking and removing that landscaping area would be 546 parking stalls, and access would remain under proposed conditions. I did note that the Nassau County DPW recommended a few access improvements, just stop signs, some left turn restriction signs, and things of that nature for each of the driveways, which we implemented into the site plan as well. So we went to the site on several different occasions for this one, actually. It's standard practice usually to do 1-2 days at counting traffic at a site, looking at the parking demand. We actually went out there about 3 different times. Total days, we were out there 7 days. We went in June of 2023, end of February or early March 2024, and then again in May and June of 2024. School was in session during each of these data collection periods, which we think is vital to a reliable traffic study. What we found when we looked at the traffic counts out there is that the peak hours were really that weekday lunch period for this particular user, and then the Saturday midday, when really Trader Joe's is very busy. So we also contacted the Town of Oyster Bay Planning Division about any potential projects in the area. We included a growth rate to account for any other future development in the area. And then we used IT Trip Generation, that's the Institute of Transportation Engineers. They published data on traffic counts and studies that they've done to project trip projection for any given use. And what you find with a development like this is the way that shopping centers typically offset peak traffic and parking demand is having a variety of users, and they offset by having different peak periods and by using internal capture. So one trip to the center can use multiple uses. So the current shopping center really doesn't have very many food uses there. You have the supermarket, there's a bakery, and there's one quick service restaurant currently open. It's a little Greek takeout spot. So what we're proposing here are more restaurant uses, and by putting more restaurant uses, it increases the likelihood of internal trip capture. So, capturing patrons that are already going to the shopping center, and now they have an option for food. So taking that into account, using rates published by ITE, as well as pass-by trips, we found that the periods with the most additional traffic that would be the weekday lunch period and the Saturday midday period. At most, we calculated 20 new trips to the site during the weekday lunch period. And taking all those things in consideration and performing our traffic impact analysis, we found that the movements at these adjacent intersections were not expected to have any significant change in level of service or delay. We also did, as was mentioned, there's a parking variance associated with the site. We did parking counts at various times throughout a weekday and Saturday, multiple weekdays, multiple Saturdays. And we found, and it's actually on our board over here, is that's an aerial view from one of the times we went out to the site during the Saturday midday peak. You'll see the parking lot's fairly full, as would be expected, and if you've been here, you know. But we did find that there was less demand in the area where we're proposing the new restaurant buildings, and more in front of the Trader Joe's, which makes sense, where we're adding additional parking. We also found at its peak, the shopping center is about 82% occupied, translates to about 437 parked vehicles. When you take into account the additional demand from the proposed use, we calculated a maximum of 88% occupied, so that'd be 484 parked stalls in that peak hour. The proposed supply of 546 stalls left a reserve capacity of about 11% on the site. So all that to say is, based on our calculations and our analysis, our observations, it's my professional opinion that there's enough parking on site to accommodate the demand. Just in reference to the Nassau County Planning Commission, they had some concerns about the traffic and parking. I just wanted to note that this traffic study was submitted to the Nassau County Department of Public Works and their Traffic Safety Division. They had no comments on the study, and they approved the application. I also wanted to point out that Nassau County Planning Commission had recommended the possibility of a traffic signal at the main entrance. It's my professional opinion that it wouldn't be warranted at this location. It has to pass certain traffic signal warrant criteria. And one of those is the closeness between the other signalized intersection on that corridor. So if you put a signal there, it's going to be much too close to the other two signals north and south of that entrance.
So you're
And
talking about
that could help.
South Oyster Bay Road?
Yes, South Oyster Bay Road. That could hurt the progression of that corridor. And, based on not receiving that feedback from DPW and my experience, I believe it would be challenging to get that approved and hard to warrant.
So Nassau County Planning Commission recommended?
That was a recommendation from Planning
Why
Commission.
what did they say, why?
They noted some concerns, I have about the parking and congestion, and they noted increase of number of vehicle trips entering and exiting the main drive would increase congestion and then potential for traffic accidents. We didn't find a significant difference in the delay at that intersection based on the added traffic. So that would be my response to that comment.
Did you say that you were installing a no left-hand turn sign at that location?
Not on
I
the
hear
South Oyster Bay entrance. That wasn't recommended by DPW. You do have the center left turn lane there, which provides a space for vehicles to store
Okay.
while waiting to turn to the site. So I believe that's why they didn't make that recommendation. But
Okay.
we are installing one on the other side, on the other way.
Woodbury Road?
Yep, correct. On Woodbury Road.
So a left turn from both of the exits on South Oyster Bay Road, you can make a left turn?
Currently, you can, and we're not proposing to change that currently. We did look at site distance at those two driveways. DPW had requested we take a look at that, and we found there was adequate site distance to look left or right and make
What-
your judgment.
What's the configuration of South Oyster Bay Road in front of this shopping center? How many lanes
It's 2 lanes northbound and southbound and a center left turn lane.
and a left turn lane?
Yep.
Do you
Yeah.
know where that left-hand turn lane, where you could merge into that lane to make the left-hand turn onto Woodbury Road? I mean, is it past or is it near the northerly entrance and exit from your shopping center? Do you understand my question?
As you're traveling southbound, exiting the signal and turning left into the site, is that what you're saying?
If you're going northbound on
Northbound.
South Oyster Bay Road,
Yes.
and you want to make a left onto, go west onto Woodbury Road, in that, I call it a suicide lane.
Not the technical term.
But where does, there will be striping, and then all of a sudden there'll be an arrow, and it'll show the lane to back up. Do you have any idea where that,
So
how far that is?
the start of the dedicated left turn lane at
Yeah,
the
where the
signal.
dedicated left turn lane
It's,
starts.
this is just looking at the plan here, it's approximately 50 feet, would you say? Yeah.
So it's nowhere near the northerly entry and exit from your shopping center.
Yeah, it's north. There's enough space to queue a couple cars in that center left turn lane without conflicting with the left turn lane
Okay.
onto the Woodbury Road.
It's almost halfway down.
Huh?
It's almost, I used to work right there. It's almost halfway down.
Okay.
Do you know if any records or history are kept of accidents in this parking lot over the years by management or anybody along those lines?
I'm not sure about in the parking lot. I believe I would have to ask the property manager about that. We did look at crashes on the roadway. It's a busy road, but we found that, sorry, I'm just reading my notes here. Yeah, we didn't find any, safety concerns based on the review of the crash history on the roadway. To the shopping center inside, I can't speak to that. But maybe the property owner might be able to help you with that.
How does the trash enclosure impact the lines of sight on South Oyster Bay Road?
So we did look at that when we looked at the site distance evaluation at the driveways. It is set back far enough that it's not impacting your field of vision, looking either direction.
But I mean, from what I'm seeing here, it only looks like there'd be one car, maybe maximum of two, that would be able to look past that trash enclosure.
Well, I mean, you only need the first car waiting at the stop bar to be able to see, and the second car needs to stop at the stop line and then make
Yeah,
a
but-
judgment.
Well, I've seen it where there'll be several cars there, and they will see that it's open, going north on South Oyster Bay Road, and, they may stop or they may not.
Yeah.
But, they just keep filing out. And, the third car or the fourth car isn't really gonna be able to see anything, and if he doesn't look carefully, he might, there could be a,
Yeah, I mean, there's no stop sign there now. We're proposing to add the stop sign. What you're describing is someone running a stop sign. I would say that
Yeah.
I would say that would be an enforcement issue, but I understand your concern, of course.
it seems like an awful large trash enclosure for two restaurants of this size.
I think maybe the site engineer can speak to the size of it in terms of code requirements.
To discuss the trash enclosure, it's intended to receive.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Yep, sorry. In speaking to the trash enclosure, it's intended to receive the refuse from two restaurants, each one with its own designated dumpster.
Okay.
Hence the size. It's slightly over what we would typically do for one, but it'll fit two full trash receptacles.
Did you get to an answer about accidents? Lou, did you ask about accidents?
Not yet.
Mr. Chairman,
You asked
sorry?
about
I do have someone here who can answer the question about vehicular accidents inside of the center.
Oh, you do?
Can you use the microphone,
Yeah.
please? I'm sorry.
Want to bring them up?
Yeah, so Mr. Todd Leveroni, he'll speak to that briefly.
Good evening, Chairman. Todd Lavaroni, 101 Shadow Grove Lane, Holbrook, New York. I'm a property manager for the Woodbury Plaza Shopping Center. As far as accidents, there's no reoccurring accidents happening in the shopping center. And I could note that, I don't have the exact year, but when they put a red light camera on the corner of South Oyster Bay Road and Woodbury Road, we had a lot of traffic whizzing through our shopping center going around back to avoid it. And at that point, we put some speed bumps on the side of Chase Bank, in front of the Gap, and a couple behind the center to stop people from, doing that, so we would avoid accidents. So there's really not an issue with traffic accidents in the shopping center.
Over the years, it's maintained the same amount of accidents then, if any?
Excuse me?
Over the years, every year, has it maintained the same, the number of occurrences?
Inside the center?
Yeah, inside the center. in the
Very
parking
low.
lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was one or two, like someone bumping into a shopping cart, but besides that, there has been no kind of really accidents going on there. And we do, after a couple of complaints about shopping carts, we have the tenants policing the shopping carts more to keep the traffic flow, good.
That'll open up some spots.
Yeah, no, yeah,
They get
definitely.
left there, I know.
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing, but we clamp down on that.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
all right, thank you.
So if the board has no further questions, that concludes our presentation in chief, so we're happy to, yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. At the end, is it Chase Bank? They're doing some renovation there. Are they changing internally the functioning of the bank?
That I am not sure about, to be honest with you. Let me,
It's closed? I don't know.
All right, you'll get your turn up, 1 minute.
so the bank is closed, and they are currently trying to put a new tenant into the space.
Another restaurant?
No, not a restaurant.
Is the kosher restaurant still there?
No,
It moved?
yeah. I was there yesterday. I didn't see a kosher restaurant, so.
Okay, did you have anything else to add, or does the board? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
are you gonna change the square footage, put 2 tenants in there? I mean, they have a good amount of space now. You're gonna rent it as is for the same use?
Are you talking about the Chase?
Yeah.
The interior layout, I don't have. Well, yes, it will be one tenant, but I don't know the exact.
Speak by
Come
the
on up.
microphone.
Tell us about the Chase Bank.
Why'd they move out?
Hello, how is everybody today?
Good.
Lauren Sanders with Midwood, part of ownership. Chase Bank has vacated. A food ghost kitchen will be replacing that space. What we are told is that the parking requirements for that replacement use will be less than the Chase spaces. So in fact, the variance will shrink.
What's
the
going in there?
restaurant
What's going in there? I didn't
It's a
get.
ghost kitchen.
What's a ghost kitchen?
It's a food preparer and they do food deliveries.
So
So
nobody comes in and sits down?
no one comes in
Nobody?
and sits down.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
The food use will not use the drive-through, but we are maintaining the drive-through.
I just have a question for the gentleman that spoke to the parking on the lot. I think it was the traffic engineer.
Yes.
Yeah. I heard you say that you were basing your review of the parking on the amount of square footage for the stores that are actually there, and you were discounting the vacant spots?
No, so we took into account with the actual parking demand, we observed several visits, and then we projected additional demand due to the proposed use using the Institute of Transportation Engineers parking generation manual. And then we also accounted for any vacant space in the building currently.
Any vacant space in the building? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I mean, you know, they could rent it tomorrow, and now your parking calculation doesn't work anymore. I don't understand the
What?
process.
Oh, excuse me, I misspoke. There's no vacancy on this matter. I was speaking generally as to how we perform parking studies is we look at the current users at the site, and then we look at the proposed users, and if there's any
Because-
vacancy, we take that into account
Because
in our
this happens
demand
to be
calculations.
a special, because you need a board hearing.
Yeah.
But if you just fill up a spot, we don't do a review of the parking and everything again. You know, I mean, I would have liked to have heard what, if the Tire Shopping Center was full.
That was the number I gave. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That is the number I gave you. That is what we calculated based on a fully occupied center.
All right.
And the plans that were submitted with this application has the full roster of tenants, and it
Okay.
shows the parking calculation per tenant and then cumulatively.
All right, I thought, I maybe misunderstood, but I thought you had discounted the vacant spaces in your plan.
No, I may have misspoken, or not explained it well enough. We take into account if there were a vacant space, we would calculate what demand that vacancy might generate and include that on top of the observations that we
Okay.
did.
Typically based on a more conservative.
Yes, thank you. It's typically based on a more conservative number, based on parking studies that have been conducted throughout the country and are published nationally, and we use that data to aggregate trip parking, projections.
Okay? All right,
Did you say that 88% of the spaces were occupied at any given time? Did I hear that correctly?
That was my, given a full occupancy, that was my conservative projection. Sorry, let me get the exact numbers in front of me, so I'm not misspeaking.
No, it's okay. And if you,
That was with the project.
with the project?
Yes. 82% during Saturday midday peak hour
And
currently.
are the spaces in the back occupied? It looks like there's some spaces in the back of the building.
Yes, we did find that people do park back there. They're mainly for employees.
Employees.
You can see in the aerial that there are cars parked in the rear.
Also in the photos that I provided from yesterday, you can see there's a good number of cars parked back there as well. So it is active.
is it
parking.
designated employees?
It's employees and patrons. There's signs that say they're for both. I think naturally, many employees park there, but especially behind the Huntington Learning Center, I think a lot of people park in that area.
I would bet that customers are using it, because when I saw, there were a couple of shopping carts back there, so I imagine the customers.
Is it, what would draw them to that area rather than the main parking lot?
I mean, the issue with the Trader Joe's currently is that when it gets very busy, cars are probably going around the back to park. But again, that's one of the reasons that we're putting the pad site back into the parking lot.
I think it's adding parking, but also currently, if you go out there, that with the landscaping there, it really blocks everything to the other side of it. I mean, if you're looking for parking, you're not going to think to go around the other side of the landscaping where it's going to really open that area
And that's
up.
closer than parking farther out?
It's
South
not,
Oyster Bay Road?
I mean, you may be able to technically park closer in the rear, but, as most of us do, we look for parking in the front. I mean, you're going to circulate the parking in the front and park there first. And then it's a more direct shot to the store. But there is that parking in the rear to in case you need it.
Would you consider making that employee parking?
In the rear of the site.
Oh, would you consider ever designating that as employee parking?
It's something I can discuss with
I
the
mean-
applicant, but I imagine that would be something that they'd also have.
Because
to
those
deal
cars
with.
stay there pretty much all day.
Yeah, but I imagine there's probably issues with leases that we would have to work through, but it's
Oh,
something we can
oh,
talk.
just a question, okay. All right, yeah.
So it looks like with the removal of the pad site, you're gaining 21 parking spaces, if I heard that correctly. How many spaces are you losing by adding the new pad site? So it's 21 you're getting back for the older pad site.
So there'll be a net increase of 11 spaces throughout the center.
11, okay.
So, yeah, maybe lose 10 or so. But well, we're also rearranging a lot of the parking on site, so do you have the exact number on that?
Yeah.
No, we're gaining 11.
So, yeah, so everything, all of the parking on the site is, save for a couple of the spaces in the rear, all the parking on the site is being restriped, and it's being reconfigured to be a little bit more efficient. That's how we're gaining the 11. As far as the exact number that we're losing from that pad site, I would have to actually take a look at that and
Okay.
see what the net is, but we do gain the net 11 spaces across the site.
But that's with adding what's already removed, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just say it again, how many do you have total available spots?
535.
Okay.
That's existing. Right.
And proposed 546.
So there's a new plan for parking, new rendering, so what we're looking at is not what is projected?
What's on the screen and up here, and it should be, what exhibit is it?
Exhibit 4?
4. Yeah. Yeah, the parking configuration is shown on the site plan.
Okay, let me see.
As far as the outdoor seating, is there any measures to protect the patrons from vehicles? We've had a lot of, unfortunately, vehicles running at the buildings and such lately. Is there any bollards or planters that protect the diners outside from cars driving through the parking lot?
Yeah. Guardrail? Yeah, there's a guardrail around the patio area.
Okay.
And full,
Barrier.
full height curbs. as
Yes, they're full height curbs as well.
Okay.
Yeah, 6-inch curbs, except for at the ramp, but that's at the corner.
I want to ask, can you do parking, right?
Yeah.
Could you just highlight show us the handicap spots that you have laid out?
Sure.
He's
So
got 'em all,
essentially, everything you see here with these double loaded spaces with the parking striping in the middle, those are all of the ADA spaces on the site.
Okay.
And we meet ADA compliance.
Now, what about the restaurant?
The restaurant has 2 across in the first drive aisle here. We were hoping to put them here, but we couldn't make the handicap ramp work.
Okay.
So that's the idea behind putting them across the drive aisle, and there is a dedicated crosswalk and a ramp at that corner.
Oh, okay, all right. On that plan where there's something that says new asphalt restoration with a bar, are you just indicating that that's showing us that that's the same shading? You're just
Yes,
indicating that that's shading.
yes, so
That's
that
it. There's
is
nothing physical there or anything.
it's depending on which one you're talking about. There's
Like
one that runs into South Oyster Bay Road, that's the new sewer connection
Yes,
for the
yes.
building.
Oh, okay.
And then there's one that runs across the length of the parking lot interior to the site. That's the gas connection for the building.
Okay, so that's covering over for sewer connection or gas connection?
Correct, yeah,
Okay.
the utilities were
Right,
considered.
okay.
Do you have a loading zone for deliveries?
So that was actually part of our discussions with planning, was that this would be temporary, that all of the loading and deliveries would happen off hours.
Okay. If the application was approved, do you plan to restore the parking first? What's the timeline in order of construction? Are you going to start building the new building while the pad is still taking up some of the existing parking if you get approved?
Time-wise, in terms of restoring, you mean the pad site in front of Cherry Joe's?
Correct, because there's a pad site there now. If you start building another pad site, then the parking's really going to be deficient.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've really timed out the construction schedule.
Okay.
but that's something we can take into account certainly when we get to that point.
Okay.
Anything else from the board?
Oh, we're gonna hear from the people.
Anything from you? Any more? No?
Nothing further.
Okay. Okay, anyone wish to speak on this application? I'll go front to back, come on. Yeah. No,
here.
yeah, here's the rule, you have to come up here
State your name and address, please.
and state your name.
Sorry, I
and
just want
address.
to,
Oh,
the applicant has committed to getting rid of the bad pad and restoring the parking before starting on the new pad site, so that resolves that question.
okay, thank you, okay.
Sorry.
First, I would like clarification.
No,
knowing-
What's your name and
Oh,
address, please?
Ann Cavuto, 15 Woodway Road, Plainview, New York.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'd like clarification, is this in front of the Walgreens, but up by South Oyster Bay Road we're talking about, or in front of TJ Maxx?
You mean the pad where,
Yes, where they're trying to build 2 restaurants.
go ahead.
Across from the pharmacy, so it's not in front of the TJ Maxx.
It's in front of CVS.
Yes, it's across from that, so.
Okay, well, that makes other things for me. Now, what they're not taking into account is South Oyster Bay Road and Woodbury Road. When I go up that road to make a turn, it's hard enough to see because cars are turning onto South Oyster Bay Road. And when you have a clear line of vision, you can see how many cars are coming. Sometimes all of a sudden, the car comes and goes right in front of you to make that left-hand turn onto South Oyster Bay Road going south. Now, right across from the, I call it the middle entrance and exit to this plaza, is across the road, Walgreens and Staples on the left. Those driveways almost match up. So tremendous amount of traffic goes north and south coming out of Walgreens and north and south coming out of that plaza, okay? That is very dangerous, and there was an accident that I just found out from a neighbor of a relative of theirs coming out by the Staples end, because those driveways are almost across from each other, and it's very difficult getting out of there. All their studies showed up at the time of non-holiday, from October to December. You can barely get out of there at all, and the lot is totally full. I had just found out recently that Chase moved out, and 15 vendors will be making deliveries out of there. So that's already more traffic with them going out and out making deliveries in this end building, which I didn't know about when I saw a sign on the window that said 15 vendors coming in. I just found out now from someone here that they will actually be making deliveries.
Who are they delivering to?
Anybody who calls up and needs a delivery. It's almost like to me, I'm thinking like an Uber service. There's 15 different vendors in there who will, you don't sit there and eat, deliver the food to you. So that adds a tremendous amount of traffic already, just with cars going in and out of there delivering, okay? Now, on that corner, like I said, to turn off South Oyster Bay Road to Woodbury Road, there's an entrance by TJ Maxx, which puts you onto Woodbury Road. You already can't make a left there. You used to be able to, but now you can't. And when you come out of there, it's even difficult going right to do it because of the traffic. This is going to double the traffic, maybe triple, with 2 more restaurants, and you already have Bear Burger right across the street. You can't see past that if you're making a right to go on South Oyster Bay Road from Woodbury Road. I never thought of the dumpsters, but I'm glad you gentlemen here brought up all this stuff, because I'm familiar with that area. With the dumpsters there, you're not going to be able to see the line of traffic that's going, that would be west, to get on South Oyster Bay Road or even cross over. When the light changes, people want to make that turn. Now you're not going to be able to see it at all. Between the 2 buildings there and also the dumpsters there. So we definitely don't need another food place. Now that that place where Chase Bank moved out is going to have 15 different vendors making deliveries. So you're going to have guys coming out of there all day long to go out and make their deliveries that people call in. You're over congesting South Oyster Bay Road and Woodbury Road, and though that's a dangerous corner, very dangerous corner, high traffic, both. There already is a turning lane going on South Oyster Bay Road that goes onto Woodbury Road when you turn in front, like where Walgreens is. But that Walgreens driveway coming into South Oyster Bay Road, and that one makes it very difficult. When you're going up South Oyster Bay Road and you want to make a left-hand turn onto Woodbury Road, what ends up happening is, there is a light there. There's a light there already, thank heavens for that. But you got people crossing over, trying to, oh, this is where I turn, and then you got people want to go right. So that's a dangerous corner. And you're blocking views from that and adding restaurants. Now, people sitting in a parking lot like that is extremely dangerous because people want to turn, you know, and go down the aisles to check to see what's going, or where am I going to park closest, because here's where I'm going to go after Trader Joe's or before Trader Joe's or something. Now, I heard them say something about putting changing the lanes. I hope they're not talking about making them horizontal to the buildings, because that was suggested the last time around. Are they going to be still vertical to the buildings?
Want to show your map?
Not changing the orientation of the parking and staying mostly the same.
So it's vertical to the buildings?
Vertical to the buildings. I mean, except for where the pad site is at the very end, but it doesn't impact any of the current business.
It doesn't impact that area, but it impacts by TJ Maxx. Because TJ Maxx is,
Well, the parking area in front of TJ Maxx is not changing.
okay, that's going to stay. And that area, now how close is this building to two restaurants, which we don't need there?
Men's warehouse, both there.
Where is the major opening? Is this it? I don't see it.
This is the roadway, this is the driveway. It's say 100 feet back from the roadway. Is that about right? Yeah. So, you should have.
This is the new pad with the two restaurants going in. This is the major driveway, it doesn't look like it. This is the major driveway. So now you're blocking the view even turning into here, which I didn't even realize now till you're showing me this. When you come, like I come from here, Woodbury Road, I go down here, I want to go down in here. It's hard to see with the traffic going up.
It's on the corner.
Now I'm going to make a turn, and anything I can't.
It's on the
get
corner,
there,
that's
people
why.
going out.
They're gonna
So
put a
I'm
building
now
there.
gonna block
The
danger zone.
the setback of the proposed building is more than adequate for the zoning code, and it's over 100 feet back from the road, so I don't see that to be
But
an
that
issue.
doesn't let me see what's coming down this way, down this road right here.
As you're waiting to turn in the entrance, you can see straight down the driveway aisle.
Yeah, if I'm up front enough, but these cars are coming fast and people are turning into here, and now you are blocking my view of cars that come from CVS and go straight down, and those guys go out of there fast.
We looked at all the sight lines, and all the sight lines were adequate, you know, for the criteria, and this was also reviewed with DPW, so.
And I noticed every test you did was before October, November, December. That mall is packed.
You know what they're
People
talking
getting
about?
hurt now because of that.
The two ways there.
Christmas tree area. So we're even getting hurt with the spots that we there. You're saying you put that back, it should have been put back enough a long time ago. But, the part is now, you are blocking my view, because when I come on this road, I'm looking to see how much traffic is coming here and here, and I'm gonna be blocked now.
I believe there's a stop sign on that corner, right?
No, this is not a corner.
Not there, up there.
Up here,
At the end of that road by the buildings where you're talking about.
past the buildings, there is a stop sign here that turns onto Jamaica Avenue. And that's past it.
Right there, right where your finger is, there's a stop sign.
There will be a new stop sign, brand new stop bar, brand new stop sign, and then cars coming from the restaurant.
Stop signs stop some people, they don't stop other people, they do what you do. But you are blocking the view of being able to see what's here. Also, when I come down, I look to see if I'm gonna be able to park here near Trader Joe's or someplace else, but now I'm blocked. And you have people sitting where? Oh, sorry, here.
The pad, patio.
Where?
So,
That they're not gonna get green.
this is the seating area there after.
So you have a little seating area here, which I don't know what's gonna accomplish. But I see Now, why are you putting, where Chase was having is down on this end of Farm Select, and you're gonna have now delivery people going out. They're gonna be trying to get out the same places, these two, after you get out. And it's extremely heavy traffic. Staples is over here, traffic is very hard, and there was an accident of one of my neighbor's family members that got hit there, trying to get out. And when Walgreens is here, that's also, those two driveways almost match up. There's very few, like 2 car lengths for you to get in here. Because there are times we go to Walgreens and then we wanna go here to CVS or Trader Joe's. So that's a highly dangerous area, this one and that driveway. The Woodbury Road one, right now, you cannot make a left. They changed that a while back. But now that you can't make a left, people are going around other ways, either around the back. I've done it myself. I go around the back and come out because I, can't get to where I wanna go. And if I come out of, and then there's a restaurant over there, Bay Burger. Okay? But when you come out of this Woodbury Drive, you can't make the left now. And people wanna get to there, what are they gonna do? It's too difficult to cross over, so they go around, back, and back. So,
Let me just go back to the outdoor seating. How much outdoor seating do you have for the 2 restaurants?
Two four tops. Yeah, it's just
8 seats total for both?
It's only for the one tenant.
Oh, it's for the one tenant. 8 seats. Okay.
and why would you put someone, why are they putting someone in danger out in a parking lot? You're sitting in a parking
Need a
lot,
trash
basically.
thing? You're putting the 8 seats near the trash thing? Look where the trash
See, I
thing
can't see the
is.
trash thing.
And the 8 seats
Yeah,
are
where,
gonna go there?
and are they near,
Are they
the,
near the trash thing? Are the 8 seats near the trash thing?
No.
they're on the other side?
If I can offer some clarification.
Go ahead.
So, the tenant that's taking over for Chase is not 15 vendors, it's one tenant with 5 menus. There's not 15 vendors operating.
It says it on the window.
I'm
Yeah.
speaking for the applicant
Okay.
directly. I'm telling you, it's one tenant, 5 menus, it's not going to be 15 different tenants or 15 different vendors operating out of one space, that's not the proposal.
So how many people are leaving there with deliveries? How many vendors are going out then?
I mean, I don't have those numbers.
What about the cooks?
Is it,
What about the cooks?
In other words, people call
Those
up-
would be employees, and the parking calculation for the proposed use is less than the current Chase Bank. So that will be accounted for.
so they call up, they put their order in, another person, how many orders can they handle at one time? In other words, how many vendors are leaving that
Well, the
building?
vendors aren't leaving, it's one tenant it's a pre-prepared food kitchen, so it's not that.
Oh, it's not that
Is it going-
individual calling and
Yes,
ordering?
individuals do call.
It's not individual calling and ordering.
So is the question about the vendors or deliveries?
I think the question's deliveries. Are they delivering to homes or are vans delivering to restaurants?
All right, wait a minute, come on up.
Yeah. Yeah, if everyone can just please speak
Come on
from the
up and,
mic, because we do record everything for the record. So please just speak into the mic and take turns.
Good evening, Board. Thank you for having us. Justin Breslin with Breslin Development. In regards to the question about Wonder, Wonder is a restaurant tenant that happens to have numerous different menu items with different varieties of food. So it's the same thing as if you were going to any restaurant ordering food. There's no difference per se. Yeah, except there's no seating.
Okay, it's all takeout, but it's not, my question was, there's no like deliveries. You don't deliver to restaurants. It's, I live in the area and I want to get dinner, I call up and you deliver to my house.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
typical restaurant, just happens to have numerous
Yeah.
menus.
So it's like,
Is there any pickup ability then?
Yes, I believe so.
So they used the old drive-in, is that the?
No.
No? Okay.
Right. Drive-in will not be used.
But the people will come to pick up as well as also providing delivery.
The same way
Yeah.
Greek
I
Express
was gonna say,
works
it's
next
just like the
door,
Greek place.
it's the same. The only difference is they're offering different variety of food options.
You have people coming in to pick up food, plus you have delivery and going out.
As would be the same way with a typical restaurant.
Right,
So when a
no different-
delivery,
no different thing.
When a delivery person leaves, he could have 3 orders with him
Correct.
and drop off, one here, one there,
It
one
would work
there.
the exact same way as Greek
Okay.
Express
yeah,
currently
pizza
works.
place, yeah, whatever.
Okay,
There's no difference. Thank you.
All right.
And I do want to drive home the point about the distance of the proposed improvements to the roadway. Again, this is something that the county DPW looked at and our consultants looked at. If there was a site distance issue from these improvements, it would have been raised. I understand the concern about site distance, but it's been addressed, so I think we've made that point.
Okay.
You're looking at, the guy that comes in.
Can you please,
Can you go,
can you please speak at the mic so, like I said, the meeting's being recorded?
This gentleman is looking at people that go for a site survey. I'm looking at different times of the day when I go out, and I'm trying to shop and go in. And there's times of the day where it gets really congested. And I know, because I do it myself and my family, we come from one mall where Walgreens is, want to go across the way to get in that driveway there, to get into the Trader Joe mall, to go into CVS or the other stores there. So that is dangerous over there. It's always been dangerous, but it's been that way for all the years that I know of. But now we're adding something where people are going to go into a restaurant, look for parking, and also be going in there, oh, there's something over there now, and then moving in to go there. So we're becoming like a food court area. We don't need another 2 restaurants now that we have a takeout in there. There are that Jewish place, I think, is a kosher place, and other places there for food, and now we're gonna have an area where people come in to pick up
They
or
said the
take out.
kosher place is closed.
Oh, it did close? The
That's
burger
what they
place.
just said. I asked the question.
Oh, there's a Greek restaurant there now, sorry, okay? But we're becoming a food court area there. We don't need any more restaurants in there. Now, Bear Burger is right there. That opens up, and that's there, and people do turn in either on that road or go over the road and turn in. And we're adding 2 more restaurants, plus we have takeout now, because there are a few restaurants here. It's becoming a food mall. This is what it looks like to me now. We don't need any more food restaurants in there.
okay.
All right, that's how I see it.
I think we heard you.
Okay,
Thank you for your
thank you very
comments. Okay. Thank you.
By the way, I have to thank you, gentlemen. I was listening to your questions, and obviously you know the area. Some of you do, and you asked excellent questions. That I noticed. I was very pleased with that. I was worried I'd have to start from scratch. But you guys actually knew the area well enough.
We try. Let me tell
You try, okay. Well, that's good that you tried. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, I'm going down the line. Next, it's second, third row, did you have something? No? Okay, all right.
Hello, my name is Shari Zinman. I reside at 8 Bentley Road, which is the perimeter of the shopping center. So my backyard abuts the shopping center on the furthest south entrance. This shopping center is great, but it is so busy that people constantly park alongside my back fence. So it's nice that we have the numbers for parking, and on paper it sounds great, but on any given day, at any given time, excluding even holiday time, this shopping center is packed. They have gotten in new restaurants and stores that are heavily trafficked, and it is a very busy shopping center. There are numerous accidents for people trying to make a left onto South Oyster Bay Road from the exit near my backyard. Numerous. On any given day, you will have another accident. There was one 2 weeks ago. So unless we're going to really regulate traffic and determine where and when left turns can and cannot be made, adding a restaurant to that main entrance, which is always backed up on South Oyster Bay Road, it is a very busy road, not just at a certain time, all the time. I have lived in this house for 25 years and the traffic is monumental. So adding a restaurant right at that main entrance where people are going to come in and then have to make a left, unless we really work out traffic, it's going to be a nightmare, and you will have accidents, guaranteeing you will have accidents in the shopping center. People are careless in the shopping center. They are not looking where they are going. We have seen fender benders, and we have seen people almost getting run over. It is a nice idea. In my opinion, it is unnecessary. It is not a good placement for it. I know that part of the shopping center isn't used frequently for parking, but it is a busy area of people trying to get around and exit the shopping center. The people that are exiting the shopping center in the main entrance, again, like the speaker before me, it is a very dangerous area, and there are people constantly trying to make left-hand turns into traffic going over to the other side of the road. It is a very busy shopping center, so I am begging you that if this goes through, I have my own opinions about that you really regulate the traffic in the shopping center. Half the times, and like I said, my backyard butts up to it, all we have to do, my husband and I could look out the window and I see the traffic, the parking situation there, and I just decide to walk over. Now, I have the luxury to do so because I'm right there, but it is extremely heavily trafficked. So those things have to be thought about when now entering into the proposition of building a restaurant. It is a dangerous scenario, and I really need you to one day go down to that shopping center, and especially when school starts after school, because coming home from work, you see the people running into all of the stores, not just Trader Joe's, which happens to be closest to my home. So I'm really asking you to think carefully about it before giving approval or denial. The guardrail should definitely be placed. Our fence numerous times from when there were plowing and snows had fallen down. So perhaps if it goes through and we beautify the shopping center some more, we maybe put a white fence up. But the traffic really scares me, and it's a real concern.
So
Thank you for your time.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
So your house backs right up to the shopping
Yes.
center?
My house is the backyard of the shopping center, closest to where they're putting in Wonder. That's where the Chase Bank was and where Cozy was before that.
Okay. Well, how's the fence now? Does it work?
It's functional, crummy looking, but functional. I mean, we're beautifying the shopping center. They did a beautiful job renovating it.
Do you have
And you
shrubs?
have the crummy
You have
wood.
trees back there and shrubs too?
There's a tree, yes, there is a tree.
So you
in
don't
the
get
back.
any lighting onto your house or?
No,
lights?
that's not an issue. But the real concern for me is because we have seen the horrible accidents for people making lefts. You really have to have some traffic sense of who can turn which way and when.
So you're more concerned with the system rather than your house?
I just don't see a restaurant there in the middle where people are always going zigzags. I've done it myself, and now you're gonna smack dab a restaurant with a patio when there isn't even enough parking to begin with. I know on paper it sounds good, it's like, 532 or whatever it was. You could never get a place to park in that shopping center. So I'm telling you, if you have not driven by or visited, it's a lovely shopping center, but you will see for your own eyes that it is a very heavily trafficked and heavily visited shopping center.
Okay, thank
Okay?
you. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm a little shorter. My name is Tracy Gorman. I'm at 6 Bentley Road. I'm their neighbor, and I'm there a couple of years longer. So I tried to take notes as they were going, so I apologize if my notes aren't in exact order. So first, I want to thank you, because yes, your questions were awesome, and you definitely got to where we're feeling. I'm just going to reiterate, they did not do a study during the holidays. That's just insane. And I think they mentioned something about making the spots wider, if I'm not misunderstanding what California-sized spots.
No, you want to explain, are you keeping the spots the same size? Or Lou, you want to say something?
Yeah, the only thing, a California striping is where you have two stripes on either side. Okay, it's like a walk area,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
And
yet
I mean, the space is still 9 feet wide to the center of those double stripes, but it just gives the people more of a,
Okay.
It helps,
shot at getting it right.
it helps them center better.
Yeah, it helps them center the car.
It doesn't help me park, but thank you, okay. I'm surprised that When he first started speaking, he didn't know that Chase wasn't there. And I do want to emphasize that there was a woman killed in that parking lot. Killed, dead, in front of when Bed Bath & Beyond was there. And to not have acknowledged that is awful. And I know the family. And that's because people don't pay attention when they're driving.
Yeah.
No matter what your age is. I don't remember if the driver was young, old, it doesn't matter. But somebody was killed where there shouldn't have been. A car wasn't paying attention. They should be paying attention in the shopping center. The number of accidents, I implore you to please look up, whether you have to call the fire stations, whatever it is. We hear every boom. We're the ones that are calling 911 every time there's a crash. A few years back, there was even a helicopter. It was that bad. They brought in a helicopter to airlift somebody out. And that's on the street, not necessarily in the parking lot. I wrote a note that I don't even know what I mean. Less demand is based on availability. Oh, so they're looking at the spots that aren't used. Well, if Trader Joe's is busy, the spots in front of them are going to be packed. If CVS is busy, those spots are going to be packed. Everybody wants to be closest to where they're going in. The fact that they got rid of those spots, and it's been an eyesore and all that. Also, the other question was about the turn lane onto Woodbury Road. I think it starts at about Walgreens. So you have people coming out of this shopping center. You can't, unless you actually sit there for a little bit and watch the people that are coming across from Staples trying to get right across to Woodbury Plaza. And before COVID happened, I wanted my Girl Scout troop to do a community service thing where I wanted cement dividers on South Oyster Bay Road to prevent cars from going across. I live there, and yes, it would be more inconvenient for me, but lives are important, and the crashes and the people that are hurt, and it's horrible, the amount of crashes that happen there because people are trying to get across and away, and thank goodness for the no left turn sign by where TJ Maxx is now. I don't understand why anybody would go around to try to avoid it. That's what our block is used for. They go around our block to avoid the traffic light on Jamaica and to avoid not being able to make the left onto Woodbury Road. And a trash enclosure right near the South Oyster Bay Road. Yuck. Last time I had brought my kids here, I don't know if it was 2012 or 2017, honestly. They got to see everything in action, and my son's here now again.
I see you. We see you.
Last time they misquoted how many parking spots there were. And I don't remember if any of you were here then or not, sorry. But they misquoted. We had a neighbor here who had said, I went and I counted, I physically counted, and there are less spots than you're saying. So I didn't have the time to be able to do that, and I didn't think to do that. But my trust is a little low. They did try enforcing the employee parking at the back. My son used to work in the shopping center. Nobody that works at TJ Maxx is going to walk all the way down to the end and all the way around to get to their car. And for many people, it's just not a safe thing to do. And a lot of people park back there because they don't want their car to get hit. So you notice which cars are parked in the back. He did finally say it's Wonder, and there is a Wonder on 110. They advertise as a dine-in and delivery service. It's an app. It is a way to order food through your phone and get different style foods delivered from one place. Now, I think we all know that all delivery drivers are trying to make money. They're going to try to move quick. They're going to get in. They want to get out because they want to deliver and they want to go to the next job that they can get, whether it's Uber or DoorDash or whatever. The last time when they ripped up that pad site, I'm there 27 years. We never had mice until after that happened. I'm a city girl. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm not looking forward to it happening again. Off-hour deliveries, they're going to bother us because now they're coming at night, the same time when they plow and they do all that fun stuff at night. And their house might not get bothered by the lights, but my poor son, right in his window. all the nighttime lights. My son would like me to point out that many of these people don't live there, and they're looking at Google Maps, and they're looking at, you're looking at what looks in theory like good numbers. But we all know, I think, that theory and reality are very, very different. They were supposed to put in guardrails last time around by our houses to protect, because we have young kids. Our kids grew up there. We still have one neighbor who has 2 little kids next to them. There's still no guardrail. The fences are the wooden fences, and the ugly part faces into us. There's not even a double. And I think I got all my points.
Where would your house be on that map? Could you just show us, or for guardrails, what are you talking about?
Give me a second, I just gotta find my bearing.
They're over here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the wrong map.
I'm here, they're here.
Okay.
These are our houses.
Okay.
And it's like right there. So, I just don't understand that we can afford, and you're not only talking about Wonder and people. You're not only talking about Wonder going in, but now you're talking about 2 more restaurants that are gonna certainly have people, from what I understand, sitting and eating outside. And now that's more time in a parking spot and more traffic, and
Okay.
from where we sit in our home, it's lovely to look at right now, the way they redid the facade, but the danger element is insane.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hours of operation came up. What are the hours of operation for what's there, or, they're probably not all the same, and how about hours of operation for the restaurants?
Probably 10 to 10. Probably 10 to 10.
We're getting that information.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's 10 to 7.
For
For both, roughly, so.
both
it's-
restaurants?
Yeah, so it's Dos Toros and the other food use, the general hours of
10
operation
to
are 10 to
7,
7.
not 9 or 10 o'clock, not 9.
Not 10 o'clock.
And how about, what about along with the current tenants? It's obvious, it's different.
Oh, I don't know what all the tenants' hours of
okay.
operation are, but they're obviously
Anything
existing.
go past 9 o'clock?
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
CVS is open till 10 o'clock.
CVS?
The bakery, the French workshop goes past 9.
Would you know what the hours are for Wonder? What they'll be?
Proposed hours for Wonder?
I don't know.
We don't have that information offhand. But again, the point is, that's going to be just like the Greek director. I don't know if there are any more public comments, but I do want to rebut, so I'll reserve that.
Oh, yeah,
if-
no, no. go-
Well, I
any-
don't know if there's
anybody else? Yeah, come on, yeah.
Good evening. My name is Mary Ann Alogio. I live at 19 Woodway Road in Plainview. My mother was involved in a very bad accident. Someone came out of Staples, actually, and hit her car, and she ended up in the parking lot by Trader Joe's. How she got there, she doesn't know, but ambulance, hospital, the whole thing. My concern is, I'm just going to
I
reiterate.
hope she was all right?
She was all right, yeah, very badly bruised. It was a rental car, and it was just a disaster. The shopping center across on the other side of South Oyster Bay Road, where the Walgreens is,
The bagel store?
Staples. I'm just reiterating what other people have said, that you do get traffic coming out. They're trying to go left, they're trying to go right, they're trying to come straight across to get into where CVS is. You're going to put a restaurant there. It's going to bring more people into that area. It's going to make it much worse. You're talking also about a restaurant and putting in something in the Chase, which was not a restaurant. We went through this with Bear Burger. When Bear Burger was put in, we were concerned about the odor, the smells coming out of the restaurant. And they agreed to having some ultra good venting system that would keep the odors down, that we would not be smelling it all over the neighborhood. Now, I don't know what is in the plans for these restaurants and for that one on the end, which was a bank, which now is going to become a cooking establishment. There are days when I can smell the bagels, coming in and whatever. That's okay. That's not too terrible, but, Mexican or Indian or burgers, that's really can be a detriment for us to sit out in our yard and enjoy it. As far as having trucks come in off hours, I can hear the trucks rumbling in the back. I don't know if you hear that, rumbling in the back when they're making their deliveries.
Don't wake them up, you talk to us.
They're rumbling, and there are times when I feel like if I go in my bathroom, my fixture is like rattling a little because I feel the rumbling of these trucks making their deliveries. And if they're refrigerator trucks, they have to be kept running to keep the food cold. So there are traffic, parking. I mean, when you go out onto Woodbury Road, there is the no left-hand turn at that stop sign. Not everybody pays attention to these things. I get it across the street, too, from where Starbucks is. They're not allowed to make a left-hand turn. Almost every day, people are making illegal turns. I know that's an enforcement issue, and sometimes you'll see a cop sitting there, very rarely. But they're definitely, the traffic on South Oyster Bay Road is going to be a disaster, especially around the holidays, at lunchtime, at rush hour time. You have the people coming down Woodbury Road from Geico, from all those buildings. They're rushing down. The traffic backs up. It is a very difficult and dangerous intersection. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You could make a cop car call to the police station and let them put a cop car there to watch them make turns.
When I see the cop, I clap hands and say yes.
What are you saying no for?
They don't come.
The-
The police don't come when we call.
Okay.
When there's kids driving around doing donuts in the parking lot, they don't come.
He's just trying to give you an idea.
Appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak?
If I could just make one comment. It's very nice that you're giving us back that piece of property that's been held hostage for years because we lost a lot of parking there. And it's been sitting there for years. That whole thing went through. They were going to build without notifying us. We got notified after the process had already started. So I also thank you for giving us consideration to letting us speak before this actually takes place, because the last time we were not given that consideration.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak? Okay, you want to?
So obviously a lot to work through here. So I just want to reorient this back to what I think I said at the start of the presentation, that part of this application is to make the center safer. So I know a lot of discussion has been had by members of the public about people shooting across South Oyster Bay Road from one shopping center to another. I do want to emphasize, this project is not changing the configuration of any of the driveways, not at this center, and I don't think the one across the street. So regardless of whether or not this application happens, the complaint about people shooting across South Oyster Bay Road is not going to change. What you also heard from our traffic engineer is that these pad sites are not going to result in a substantial increase in trip generation. There will be a substantial amount of internal trip capture between the different uses in the center. And I'm not a traffic engineer, but one of the features that was added was the intentional alleyway when you come into that entryway, so that you can't have cars come in and then immediately try to make the left to get to this pad site, so that you would have the queuing of the cars onto South Oyster Bay Road. Now you'll have an alley that will permit, and I asked our traffic engineer, approximately queuing for up to 5 cars before a car would have to queue out onto South Oyster Bay Road. Currently, that doesn't exist. If a car goes in and is trying to make a left and a car is coming out of a parking spot, they may get stuck at that entrance. So there are things that are being done to improve traffic safety here. But again, we're not changing the location of any of the driveways. And this isn't something that was requested from the DPW. So I have to go back to that because they are the ones who have jurisdiction over South Oyster Bay Road. And if that is something that they thought was necessary as the result of this project, it is something that would have had to have been considered. Frankly, the issue of cars shooting across South Oyster Bay Road is a traffic enforcement issue for the police. There's nothing that we can honestly do about that. I did mention before that the Wonder use is not multiple vendors, it is one vendors. I do want to also point out that, you know, these are food uses that are going to peak midday lunchtime. It's not going to be peaking the same time as the Trader Joe's. So these uses would be more complementary than, let's say, another retail use that's going to peak around the same time as a Trader Joe's. So there is a little bit of interplay between these uses and not peaking all at the same time. And again, we are taking parking from a less utilized portion of the site. People who are going to Trader Joe's, which seems to be the largest complaint from the residents in terms of the parking congestion, you know, nobody's parking against, you know, that far side of the property where there's the fence and walking all the way to this pad site. So realistically, if anything's going to resolve the complaint about people parking against that fence, it's going to be the addition of the spaces that are currently occupied by this pad site. So this project is not going to affect what is happening, frankly, for the residents who complained about the parking against the wall, and that's something that we'll talk about. We'll look at. We are going to look at the fence. I was advised by Mr. Leveroni, excuse me. He's repaired that fence several times. I imagine next to a busy shopping center, it has to get repaired, you know, on a regular basis. But we will look into it, and if it needs to be repaired, it will be repaired. I do also have to say this isn't Wonder's application, so you know, I know Wonder is the proposed tenant for the Chase space, but in terms of traffic and parking, that's already been accounted for. If they're concerned about odors, that's something that will be dealt with if and when the application is submitted for Wonder to the town. Obviously, we can't create a nuisance, so whatever would have to be put in place for any food use, not even for Wonder, but for any food use that could go into this shopping center as of right, they would have to address whatever, you know, I can't speak to exactly what they would have to do, but whatever mitigation measures would be needed for any other food use. I also do want to mention, you know, again, not a traffic engineer, but in my experience, nobody does traffic studies during peak holidays. I mean, as a general matter, and Mr. Shukovsky can talk to this, everybody recognizes that for shopping centers, holidays are exceptional peak times for traffic and parking, which is why you don't do a traffic study during those times, because it doesn't represent what is the ordinary course. And, you know, not making light of the death of an individual, but the reality is that this shopping center is not special. Somebody can be hit in a shopping center anywhere. That doesn't mean this shopping center is exceptionally unsafe, and as I said before, they are putting in measures to make it more safe, and as Mr. Leveroni testified earlier, they've already put in speed bumps to slow cars down in the shopping center. This pad site also, one of the features that's being put in is a designated walkway for pedestrian access from the pad site to the rest of the center. So again, we're including things that make the center more safe. I do want to say one more time, the pad site's nowhere near these residences, so I know we talked about off-hours deliveries to the pad site, but between this pad site and the houses to the east, you have the entire shopping center building. There's no way they're going to hear or see that. And then the residences to the south, several hundred feet away on the south side of that shopping center. These deliveries are going to happen on the opposite side of the pad site. It's not like it's happening in their backyard, so I think that should be taken into account as well. I think that addresses all of the comments that I can think of. If the board has any questions, again, we're happy to respond to them.
I think we heard everything except you. Oh,
Ma'am, you have to come up to the podium, please.
I'll address her.
all right, but I wanted to see it. Wait a minute.
Okay, sure. So currently, to get from the sidewalk on South Oyster Bay Road to the main building, there's no walkway.
Correct.
There's now going to be a sidewalk from all the way across.
Flip it over to the other side. So,
No. Okay, there you go. So it'll go from the street, past the pad site, all the way to the main building.
So cars will no longer be able to go from here to there because you have a sidewalk, which means they're gonna go racing through here.
No, this is a crosswalk here. There's an opening here.
So you'll have an opening, so there is a sidewalk here now on both sides.
Yeah, but it doesn't extend all the way to the,
No, it doesn't need to because your building isn't there.
no, there's no connectivity from this sidewalk to the main building, to
Right.
down here.
Here there's a sidewalk, here there's a sidewalk, here there's none.
Right.
Because it's not necessary.
Why, well,
It's not necessary because we don't walk in there. You come out of a store and you go down the aisle. That's why I asked you which way the cars would take. It goes down the aisle, and then when the cars are this way, you see where your car is and you walk only down that aisle. You walk on the sidewalk here, which is by the wall, the strip mall, and then go across and down the aisle you want. And now you're saying you're extending it, which means cars are gonna have a harder time going through that crosswalk. They won't. They'll speed through here to get out.
Go ahead, want to answer?
I just don't see.
So your crosswalk goes from the pad,
No, it goes from the street.
crosswalk goes from the sidewalk
South-
on South Oyster Bay Road,
South Oyster
all
Bay
the
Road.
way
All
past
the
the
way.
pad, all the way to the
Past-
main building, where there's currently no pedestrian accommodation.
right, so you're adding pedestrian
Can't-
accommodation.
Right, I don't agree with the point that it's going to make
Yeah.
it less safe.
Cars who wanna go across the lot. In
But-
other words,
Well, cars have to yield pedestrians
I
always.
don't wanna say walk in the Windsor to here. I go through here to get to either TJ Maxx or whatever. That won't be there anymore. It's a crosswalk for pedestrians, which means you're blocking people in here and blocking them to this.
But it's a
don't-
crosswalk, can't you drive over it?
Yeah, I don't,
it's crosswalk.
It's not a raised,
It's
not a raised,
not.
It's not raised?
no,
No, it's a crosswalk.
You
it's a
can still drive
crosswalk.
through.
You walk on
Oh,
it.
okay, it's not a raised sidewalk.
No.
Because these two things are raised right here, to protect people
Yeah,
when they come in,
these,
they're raised.
these are raised sidewalks, and then when you get to here, this is a crosswalk, and then this is another raised sidewalk, and then a crosswalk. to
Also,
get to
you're
the
not
building.
putting another raise,
Yeah, so this will,
you're putting another raise.
Oh, over there, okay, oh, it is raised.
yeah,
It's just, that's what
but
I'm
it,
saying.
it,
What cars
Well,
are
well,
gonna
there's
do
parking
Okay.
on the other side of that, though, so it has to be
now,
raised.
they're gonna go through here to get back down here to, where they just go across here.
So you can-
Blocking these spots. So now he's blocking it, and he's making it more restrained.
Or you can walk through the
I-
parking spot, right?
right, I mean, there's gonna be pedestrians in there no matter what you
Yeah.
do, but this is providing a raised dedicated sidewalk for them.
And you're gonna
versus
have
where there's
plantings
none.
in there and what have you,
Yeah,
Correct.
or near it, okay.
yeah.
But it's blocking the cars, is what I'm saying. That now,
It's not blocking the cars.
It's not, I don't know that you're,
what I'm saying though is only a small area to get through.
There's
People-
nothing blocking those cars. The crosswalk will be painted on
You just said
on the
there would-
pavement.
Right, he just said there would be a raised sidewalk.
Yeah, but,
But so you make a turn in there to go to the restaurants or whatever, and, or you can come down and go to the stores.
what's currently there is
Open space.
open striped parking, so if cars are driving through striped parking, I mean, that's not
yeah,
legal.
it's not an existing drive aisle.
Right, exactly. So this actually channelizes the parking better than just having cars cutting through striped parking aisles.
Yes, we understand.
Okay, good.
We got it.
As long as,
Okay,
The board
all right, I
understands.
think we've heard, quite a bit. You wanna say something? Come on up.
That's her son.
Hi, my name is Joshua Gorman. I live at 6 Bentley Road, have my entire life. To the point of the accident, she did not step out into a car. Car came speeding out over the existing speed bumps, disregarding the yield for pedestrian sign, were struck and they left. They did not stick around. I remember this like it was yesterday. It was all anyone talked about at Bed Bath for a week. We used to have a no parking sign on our fences. Once that first pad was brought in, gone. Hasn't been there since. So now I can't even go and sit out in my backyard or do yard work or whatever it may be without cars sitting there, idling, without trucks waiting to make the deliveries in the morning, waiting for the stores to be allowed to do it as per town ordinance. I worked in the Bed Bath. Work can't start in the buildings, trucks and such can't start till 8 o'clock in the morning. I know that. But the trucks sit there idling because they can't drop anything off. They can't be behind the stores because it's too close to the other houses. These speed bumps are not a fix-all Band-Aid.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well put. Okay.
To respond to that last comment, the pad site has nothing to do with that issue. And of course, the speed bumps are not a fix-all issue, but mitigation measures only go so far. And that can be said of any shopping center, of course. Truck idling, with all due respect to the residents, they do own homes adjacent to a shopping center. There are deliveries. The deliveries associated with the pad site that we're talking about today will be nowhere near those residents. So no idling trucks, no noise associated with this pad site. If there's an issue with cars idling longer than they're permitted by the town code, then that is something that will need to be addressed. That is an enforcement issue that we have to look at. But again, the issue tonight is the pad site. If there's a concern about truck noise, about overnight delivery, not an issue for these residents.
Do you have the speed bumps delineated on the map on your?
Are they shown?
Yes, we do have the speed bumps. We did not change the location of them in this restriping effort. They are as to remain, mostly along the frontage of the shopping center and then next to where the former Chase Bank was.
Okay. All right, thank you. Scott, do you have anything for the Ed? Okay.
If there's nothing further from the board, I noticed that the board is shy a few members this evening. We would like the benefit of a full complement of the board if possible. So if the board is satisfied with the hearing transcript as it is, we would ask that the hearing be closed and that the board hold the matter until a future date when the full board can review and vote on the application.
Okay, take that into consideration. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else up here? No? If not, entertain a motion on this application.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to close the public portion of the meeting and reserve decision for a later meeting date. If we have a full staff that night, September 11th would be the next meeting date. If the board approves the motion, there would not be the necessary to re-advertise and do mailings since the public portion of the meeting is closed.
Okay. Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. Call the roll.
Certainly. Voting on the motion, Chairman Stanko?
Aye.
Member DiLeonardo?
Aye.
Member Warner?
Aye.
Member Trevina?
Aye.
Member Byrnes, aye. Chairman, the motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for your comments, presentation. Thank you in the back. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.